Alright, what's going on, guys? Back again for another video. It's pretty cold outside. There's a lot of ice on the lake and not enough to ice fish yet, but I did think of something we can do. We're going to go through my personal collection of lures. Now I have everything set out right here. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. And these are all that I've made. I've made more than that, obviously, but I've lost a few fishing with them, of course. And what we're going to do, I'm just going to show you the lures that I've made and how I've progressed through the years, I guess you could say. So starting off, we have these two right here. They're basically just, I made them on the exact same day. These were the first ones I ever made. And they're basically just flat pieces of wood with paint on them. There is some sort of clear coat. I don't know exactly what it was, but I put weight in the bottom. I didn't even bother sanding it. But yeah, they just don't work because obviously they don't even have a lip or anything. They won't even sit up in the water. They'll sit like that. So yeah, I was disappointed. And then I came up with this bad boy right here. Now it used to have, wow, that is musty. It used to have a offset spinner on the top of it. So it was kind of just a spinner with, hooked myself a bit. It was kind of just a spinner with this trailing on the back. And it didn't really work either. It kind of spun around. And you can see I really just didn't bother with sanding or anything or having an actual good clear coat. So next up is this one right here. This was one of my first actual lures that worked. And it was kind of just a jerkbait type profile. Really horrible paint. Yeah. And I used, I think, Jig Head clear coat originally. But as you can see, the lip was kind of just carved into it. And it actually worked decently well. And then from that, I made this. And I didn't put enough weight on it, so I put split shots on the hook. And yeah, I didn't end up catching any fish with this because it was also horrible, but it was a jointed. I kind of went for a tadpole. And it had this little lip right there because for some reason I was too cheap to buy lip material. Oh yeah, and then I kept up with the trend. This one was actually really good. I've caught several crappie and bluegill on it. But I retired at the clear coats coming off and stuff like that. But I actually did semi-well with this one. Focus. You can see it has eyes on it instead of painted on eyes. I didn't bother painting the bottom where the weights were for some reason. But yeah, this one actually wasn't bad. And then from that one, I got even smaller. This one only has a single hook. And for some reason, the clear coat, whenever it was applied, turned like pinkish orange. So it was originally like a white, like purplish color, translucent purple. But yeah. Next up on my horrible lures is this thing. As you can see, clear coat is just atrocious. There's just bumps everywhere. I think I dropped it on the ground multiple times, painted on. I tried to put a lip. This was my first attempt ever with a lip. That is actually a, what do you call it? A spinner, like a blade. Oops, that is a blade. And I cut it off and put it on the front, and that did absolutely nothing. So to compensate for that, I put one on the back. And it kind of just had an action of pulling a blade through the water. And then I would say my first successful lure besides these two mini guys, I really went what I thought was all out on this one. This is a frog. It is top water and it is weedless due to the hooks being up here. Usually what I would do is put like a curly tail worm on the end of each hook for the legs, and then I just didn't bother to paint over that either. But this is probably my best lure up at this point. This is when I actually started making decent stuff, I would say. And then after that, I kept with the topwater trend. This one was actually a pretty good one. It's the clear coat's chipping. I don't know, the clear coat just didn't make it, but it was not bad. It had a good pattern, but I retired it. There's like holes in it where the clear coat should have been, but it was just a top water with a giant propeller on the front, so kind of just like a whopper plopper. And then from that, I made an even better one. I don't really like the paint design on this. This one has a single big hook, but with a propeller in the back. I like this one better than this one. I don't like the paint design better. It's kind of sloppy, and it doesn't have actual eyes, but not bad overall. And then from there, from there. Oh yeah, I made this. This is one of my favorites. So we really have all the bad lures over here, and then the good lures over here. Oh, and of course, I'm not going in order anymore, but you saw the video on this. The acorn, the hook fell out, and you can see it turned a completely different color, and the eyes fell off. Yeah, it started rotting away, but I figured I would include that. And then, yep, we have the duck. And once again, I didn't have enough weight. Well, I did have enough weight in it because it was a top water, but I wanted to cast it even further. So this bad boy is actually a pretty good lure. It's just so big, I was never able to catch a fish on it. But it's a really nice looking lure for the most part. I got those feather trebles on it. I tied them myself. So yeah, I really outdid myself. This lure was amazing for what I accomplished earlier. And then we have the snake. Now, it originally had a different lip on it, but that lip didn't work. So I had to cut into it after the clear coat and everything, so that's why that's not painted there. It was originally painted there and everything and smoothed out, but you can kind of see I had to cut into it again. But this is another topwater lure. It's really big, and it's just, you know, segmented. I haven't caught any fish on this yet. I was wanting to do a video on it, but it didn't work, and then I kind of gave up on it for a while, and then I put a new lip in it and fished for it about a day. And then I don't know, I never did it again. But if you guys want to see a video on that, I'd be more than happy to. All right, sticking with the giant lure theme, we have my giant glide bait. This one is personally my favorite because I really outdid myself. The only problem with it is I did the fin backwards. It's supposed to be the other way around. It's supposed to be going down this way, but not a big deal. I have some nice, beautiful eyes that I ordered and holographic tape. The clear coat has black sparkles, black glitter in it. And yeah, it's just a giant glide bait here. Let me get a reference for you. That's my hand. And that's the glide bait. So it's pretty big. I haven't caught anything on it, of course. I haven't really tried. This was more just a decorative piece. I have tried the action out in the water, and it does look really nice. But I kind of just went for a kind of shad, and you can see on the top, I did like speckles in the paint as well. And then you can see right there, I did like a speckled tail, like fading into it. So this one is by far my favorite, where I really just took my time and made it as fancy as I possibly could. And it ended up with a pretty beautiful lure, if I don't say so myself. Nothing, you know, like professional level, but that's probably my best work so far. I mean, maybe my best work, controversial, but this might be my best. No, this one you saw the video on. This one was a gimmick, obviously. The balls on it ended up being too heavy. Everything else was perfectly fine, so I had to take off the balls and make it a crankbait. But this one is also massive. But yeah, I actually had some pretty decent luck once I took the balls off, so it kind of just became a jointed crankbait. But yeah, that's about it. I do have a couple more lures, but they're pretty much just crankbaits and stuff, and other lures I've made a lot more. Like I said, I've lost a few. I made a giant, kind of like this. It was a lot worse, but it was a segmented swim bait, so there was like 5 or 6 segments in it. It was more like a snake, but it would, you know, dive underwater. and do that. But I actually lost like a 4 or 5 pound bass on that one out in the pond. But yeah, if you guys enjoy content like this, I'm going to be making more lures, probably just some simple stuff, jerkbait, crankbait. Let me know down in the comments. I appreciate any support at all. Like, comment, subscribe. That way we can get the channel up and going. And yeah. Alright guys, that's going to do it for today's video. We started out with these pieces of shit. Absolutely horrible. So yeah, then we made our way up to eventually the dick lure, the cranking cock, to the snake, which is pretty good. I mean, nothing like insane or anything, but it definitely outdoes these. And then this bad boy, that's more of a decorative piece, like I said, and the duck. The duck is also more of a decorative piece. I actually did fish with it for a very good amount of time. I was actually going to make a video out of this. This was like one of the second or third videos I was going to post. I was also going to make a video out of this back whenever I first started the channel, like a year and a half ago. And then I gave up on YouTube kind of because I didn't catch any fish on this one. I did catch fish on this, but I kind of just gave up on YouTube. And those are lost. I deleted them a while ago. But if you guys want to see me fishing with these lures, this would be more of a summertime lure, of course. All of my better stuff, I kind of just went good with top water. I kind of just made top water only. But if you want to see me fishing with any of that come summertime, I probably make videos on that. Alright guys, thank you for making it to the end of the video. I really appreciate the support, and I have a little bit of an announcement to make. I actually made a second channel called All Star Pokemon. It's opening Pokemon packs, stuff like that, going through collections and whatnot. And here are some recent pulls. Actually, we pulled out of the 25th celebration set. Pretty good stuff. And we also have a eBay store. The link will be down in the description as well if you want to purchase any of those cards. We have some more interesting stuff. Here's just a little bit. We got a Togekiss VMAX Rainbow Rare. And then some of these cards right here are my more valuable ones, just a few. I have way more than this, obviously, but if you're interested in purchasing any of these or going to check out the channel, these will be on the channel pretty soon too. I would greatly appreciate any and all support. Thank you guys.